They saw a janitor's son until he solved their $100 million problem in seconds. The hum of vacuum cleaners echoed through the polished marble floors of Vanguard Technologies, one of New York's most powerful tech corporations. Under the harsh fluorescent lights, Clarence Miles, a 46-year-old janitor with calloused hands and a quiet dignity, pushed his mop across the glimmering surface. To most executives, Clarence was invisible, just another part of the after-hours routine. But to him, this place was sacred. It was where his son's dreams lived. Down the corridor, a soft glow came from the empty glass office labeled Innovation Lab. Inside, through the transparent walls, his 17-year-old son, Malcolm Miles, sat cross-legged on the floor, reading a technical manual. He wasn't supposed to be there, but Clarence always left that one lab door unlocked, just for him. "Boy," Clarence whispered with a tired smile, "you know if security catches you, I'm out of a job." Malcolm grinned, eyes bright behind old taped-up glasses. "Then I'll just have to get rich fast enough to hire you back, Pops." Clarence chuckled. "You sound like your mama." The laughter faded, replaced by a moment of quiet, the kind that carried grief. His wife, Leona, had died when Malcolm was 10, leaving behind only her belief. Don't let the world tell you what you can't be because of what you look like. Malcolm tapped a glowing circuit board. "She wouldn't want me to stop dreaming, right?" Clarence nodded. "Dream all you want, son. Just remember, dreams don't mean a thing if you don't fight for them." Outside, rain pattered softly on the glass. A father mopped the floor. His son dreamed in code. Morning hit like lightning. The boardroom buzzed with tension. Screens lit up with flashing red graphs, and executives in suits whispered anxiously. At the head of the long glass table sat Eleanor Voss, CEO of Vanguard Tech. A woman built of nerves and brilliance, with ice-blue eyes that could cut through excuses. Her CFO slammed his hand on the table. "Ma'am, we're hemorrhaging millions by the hour. The algorithm failure corrupted the predictive AI model. If we don't recover, we lose the military contract." "How bad?" Eleanor asked. "Estimated cost of damage, $100 million. The room went silent. Eleanor clenched her jaw. "Call in every department head." "I want ideas in 1 hour." Clarence entered quietly with his cleaning cart, trying to stay invisible. But in that moment, he saw what few others did. The panic behind their professionalism. He didn't know the technical details, but he knew desperation when he saw it. And later that night, when he told Malcolm what he'd overheard, the boy's curiosity sparked like fire. Back in their small apartment in the Bronx, Malcolm sat at his old computer, a patched-up relic powered by hand-me-down parts. The glow from the monitor lit his face as lines of code danced across the screen. He'd always been fascinated by Vanguard's tech. He'd studied the public patents Clarence brought home from discarded printouts. And tonight, he had a hunch about the algorithm failure. Malcolm muttered to himself, typing furiously. "Error propagation in feedback loops? They probably didn't normalize input vectors before recursive weighting." He froze, staring at a set of equations. Then his eyes widened. "Oh my God." He scribbled a correction sequence, a few simple lines that could potentially fix the system. Clarence walked in, rubbing his tired hands. "Still at it?" "Pops, I think I found their bug." Clarence blinked. "You mean the one that's costing them millions?" Malcolm nodded. "If I could just test it, I know it'll work." Clarence sighed. "Son, nobody up there's gonna let some janitor's kid touch their $1 million systems." Malcolm looked at him, determined. "Then maybe I don't need permission." It was 2:13 a.m. The building was silent except for the hum of machines. Malcolm slipped in with Clarence's ID badge. He moved through the glass hallways with quiet purpose. The Innovation Lab's door opened with a soft beep. Inside, he connected his flash drive, eyes darting between screens as streams of data poured in. He traced the corrupted code, heart racing, and then, like a pianist playing an invisible melody, he typed the correction. "Come on," he whispered. "Talk to me." The error log blinked red, then green. System stable. Neural algorithm synchronized. He stared at the screen in disbelief. It worked. He backed up the patch on a secure drive, then erased traces of his entry. Clarence watched nervously from the hall. "Malcolm, you're going to get us both fired." "Or saved," Malcolm said softly. "You'll see." By morning, chaos turned into confusion. Engineers who had been panicking hours earlier now stared at their monitors in disbelief. "Wait, who fixed this?" one whispered. "The system's stable," another said, And this correction, it's genius. They ran the recovery test 3 times, same result. The $100 million system was suddenly perfect. Eleanor Voss was informed within minutes. Find out which department executed this patch, she demanded. But there was no record, no access log, no employee signature. And when security reviewed the footage, they saw something impossible. A teenager, wearing janitor overalls, typing with lightning speed. Clarence was called into HR at noon. His palms sweated. He expected termination papers, maybe even police questions. But when he entered the top-floor conference room, Eleanor Voss herself was waiting. "Mr. Miles," she said, arms crossed, "your son, he broke into a restricted system." Clarence lowered his head. "I'll make him apologize, ma'am." "He didn't mean harm." Eleanor's gaze didn't soften. "He didn't just not mean harm, Mr. Miles. He fixed what 200 engineers couldn't." The silence was heavy. Clarence blinked, unsure he'd heard right. "He... what?" She turned her laptop toward him. Code filled the screen, annotated with notes from Vanguard's top data scientists. "This patch saved us from collapse. Whoever your son is, he's not just smart, he's extraordinary." A pause. "I want to meet him." Malcolm sat across from the CEO, his hands trembling slightly. Eleanor studied him, this thin, nervous teenager in oversized clothes, eyes alive with intelligence. "So," she began, "tell me exactly what you did." Malcolm hesitated. "I noticed your recursive weights weren't stabilizing under nonlinear feedback. You just needed to normalize your inputs dynamically." The executives in the room exchanged stunned looks. He spoke with the ease of someone who'd been solving problems all his life. Eleanor leaned forward. "You realize you just saved this company $100 million? He shrugged. "I wasn't trying to save a company. I just wanted to help my dad keep his job." Her expression softened. "You're your father's son, huh?" Malcolm nodded. "He's my hero." The room went quiet, and for the first time, Eleanor smiled. Later that week, Eleanor called a full company assembly. Cameras flashed. Journalists filled the hall. She took the stage and began. "Today I want to share a story, not about profits, but about people." Behind her on the big screen appeared the image of Clarence and Malcolm standing side by side. "This young man," she continued, "solved a problem that some of the best engineers in the country couldn't. But more importantly, he reminded us what true genius looks like. It's not about degrees or titles. It's about hunger, heart, and humility." Applause erupted. Eleanor turned to Malcolm. "Vanguard would like to offer you a full scholarship to MIT and an internship here for as long as you want." Clarence's eyes filled with tears. "Ma'am, I don't know what to say." Eleanor smiled. "Then don't say anything. Just keep raising him like that." But not everyone applauded. Behind the scenes, whispers spread, executives feeling threatened, muttering about security breaches and unqualified interns. One senior engineer, bitter and pale, sneered, "He's just a janitor's kid who got lucky." Eleanor heard the comment. She turned sharply. "You think luck writes flawless code in 5 minutes?" He stammered. "No, but nothing," she cut in. "You've spent your life protecting your seat. He spent his life fighting just to get in the room." She walked away, leaving silence in her wake. Months passed. Malcolm thrived, designing systems beyond anyone's expectations. His name began appearing on research papers. Clarence continued his job at Vanguard, but now executives greeted him with respect, not indifference. One evening, as the sun set over the city skyline, Malcolm found his father on the rooftop, staring at the fading light. "Pops," he said softly, "I got into MIT." Clarence smiled through tears. "You already built your own future, son." "The rest's just paper," Malcolm nodded. "You always told me not to stop dreaming." "Yeah," Clarence said, voice trembling, "but I didn't know dreams could come true in front of my eyes." They stood together in the golden light, father and son, janitor and genius, equal at last in the eyes of a world that finally learned to see them. Genius has no color, no uniform, and no permission slip. Sometimes the brightest minds are polishing floors while others sit in boardrooms,